Okay, so overview of configuration manager site assignment. What is boundary, boundary group relationships and fallback, configuration manager features that supports boundary groups. What is AD, forest discovery method, demonstrating configuring a boundary and boundary group. So we have already seen this demonstration. We have created a boundary and boundary group. So moving ahead, now configuring the site assignment. So configure the client so it automatically assigns to a site. So when a client joins to a active directory, right, this is our client machine, Windows 10, Windows 8, 8.17, etc. OS client, a desktop OS joined to a domain is known as a client. So if we go to back days, what we have seen, right? So when you join your client to domain, so it should automatically connect to your SCCM server. So either we have already seen we have four methods of joining or creating boundaries, right? So your client machine will be part of either of the four machines. It will be part of your IPv4 network also, or IPv6 network also, or it will be part of your any subnet or IP range, right? And it can be part of your active directory sites. You can have multiple boundaries as per your requirement, right? So when you configure these boundaries, so it will automatically plug this a newly added client to a domain to your SCCM site, so based on the boundaries and boundary groups which you create. To assign clients to a configuration manager site, manually specify the site code to use, or configure the client to assign automatically to a site based upon boundary and boundary groups. So generally we go with this method only, we don't go with this method because in production you will be having multiple thousand machines. So you can go or take each and every machine and logically connect to your SCCM site. So it is better that you can configure boundary and boundary groups. So what is a boundary? So a network location that contains one or more devices that you want to manage, or resources that you want to provide to the clients. So resources can be anything, or devices can be any kind of devices, mobile devices or desktop laptop devices. Right, so we have an IP subnet. So IP subnet is a specific subnet. For example, let's say if I say 192.168.0.1/24, right? So it is a IP subnet, right? Range, you can say it is a range also, but range is much more broader view than a subnet. So subnet can be considered, for example, 192.168.0.0/24. So this is your subnet, one subnet. If you have multiple subnets, so this is my another subnet, 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0. So I'm having now five subnets. So starting with this IP address till 192.168.4.255, so that will be my IP range. Or I can add five subnets depending. I can create five boundaries. So one boundary for this, one for this, one for this, one for this, one for this. Or I can create a single boundary with an IP range parameter, and I can club all these five subnets in a single IP range. So that is the difference between IP subnet and IP range. So you have either IP subnet or IP range. You can create either of the boundaries, or you can create. So if you have created a subnet boundary, you can create a IP range boundary also, and that IP subnet boundary can be part of that IP range boundary also. We can have active directory site boundaries also, or we can have IPv6 prefix boundaries also. Now, what is a boundary group? So, when you associate boundaries with configuration manager sites for a site assignment or content collection. So, site assignment means you are defining logically that so and so devices will be part of so and so site, or so and so devices will be part of so and so site. So, you can have a boundary or boundary group, and this boundary and boundary groups will be part of your SCCM site. So let's say we created our SCCM site, and I have given PS1, sorry, not PS1, SP1 site code, right? I have given SP code as my site code. So let's say we'll review it, what code I have given. I log into my portal.azure.com. So first I'll power on the machines. So we will wait for a couple of seconds, or we'll come back here, let it get started. So I want to show the site code we have already seen. I'll just review it. So you can see this is a boundary group. So boundary group can have multiple things. So boundary group relationships and fallback. So you can have multiple boundary groups. So you can see this is the default site boundary group, and I'm having here boundary group 1, boundary group 2, and boundary group 3. So here I'm having distribution point 1, distribution point 2, distribution point 3 and 4, and distribution point 5 and 6. So let's say my site talks to my boundary group 1. Right? So if my distribution point fails, so my distribution point is not reachable, so what will happen, this boundary group will go and talk to another boundary group. So here we have configured fallback for 10 minutes and here 20 minutes. So if this site is not reachable for 20 minutes, it will talk here, and still if it is not reachable to this also till more 10 minutes, so total 20 minutes, then it will talk to this boundary group, these distribution points. So we have already installed the distribution point and management point while configuring or deploying our SCCM server primary site. We have already deployed distribution point and management point. So these are distribution point. So what is the use of distribution point, Ratan?
Sir, the distribution point, sir, I think it's distribute the resources.
Which resources?
Sir, resources like print and softwares and all.
Sure. So you didn't appear yesterday's quiz.
Yes, sir, I appeared in the yesterday quiz.
So this question was there, right?
Sir, I think the question was related to management point.
No. Management point question was different and distribution point question was also there. Just
Sir, I
just
got
next to the management point. First question was related to management point, second question was related to your distribution point. I no worry. So distribution point is used to distribute content to your client machines. So it will distribute, for example, if you want to deploy Google Chrome, right? So your distribution point will store the content of Google Chrome files, and it will push that push that content to the client machines. So that is the work of distribution point.
sir. I was almost there.
Yeah, you are almost there. See, I didn't say you were wrong. I never
Sir,
said.
sir, why are you pinching me that you haven't seen
See,
the yesterday question or not?
yeah,
I was right also, sir.
I want to remind you that when you go on the floor, you need to be using technical words, dear. See, I'm not pinching you. I am just reminding that you read that statement or not. My concern was that, right? So when we explain anything, if you want to say something, let's say here I am asking in production floors, your some senior will be asking some technical things, so you should be damn sure that whatever you are saying, that is 100% correct, in the sense that you are using technical terminologies. So you said distributing the resources. So resources has a broader category, where when you said distribution content, so you will be not distributing the printers first of all. So at that point you were wrong, right? So you will be distributing the content. So content is different and resources are different. Resources also carry a physical structure of format, whereas content doesn't carry any physical thing. Clear?
Yes, yes, sir. Sir, sir, you are politely telling, but sir, the same lesson Suchitra sir have also gave me, but yesterday he gave me in a very rude manner. Sir, he has taken almost wagging of mine at cell phone call.
Yeah, but see, yesterday it was a different situation. Seven people were absent.
Yeah,
So,
sir, but anger of those seven people, it is not like that. Suchitra sir has been put it on me. I never get absent in any session, sir.
Rishi, see, the thing is, see, I'm not saying you were wrong, but the thing is, you need to keep everything on the same page where on which page you are. If another stakeholders of the session don't know, see, you have genuine problem. I'm not saying you were wrong or you didn't had genuine problem, but you should approach as you are informing Nikhil. See, if you are not joining the session, you should have authority letter that your leave is approved. Emergency, I can understand some emergency cases, but yes, if it is not emergency, you should have that your leave is approved, you are on leave. Getting the point?
Yes, sir.
That's the only concern. See, if you have genuine problems, no one will deny. No one will deny eventually if you need a leave. But yes, everyone should know that you are on leave. I should be the last person, but HCL stakeholders, you are going to work with HCL, and now also you are part of HCL. So HCL stakeholders should know. Your HR should know. Your training team, delivery senior should know. And Suchitra sir is very senior guy. He's having 20 years of experience. So we need to respect them also. That, see, they are also answerable why people haven't joined, because the backend team pulls the data and questions them also,
Yes, sir.
right? So we'll come back to our PPT, and before that we'll go to our SCCM server. So let me log into my SCCM server. See, when you take a leave and training team doesn't know and your HR doesn't know, so what will happen? HR will come to the training team that you haven't delivered the topics properly to the participants, right? So even training team will not have a proof that you didn't join or you were not absent. You were absent for a couple of days. You take the approved leave. Whereas it is best that your training delivery team also should know and your HR should also know that you are on leave.
Yes.
I'm not just conveying you, I'm conveying to all the stakeholders in the meeting. Fine, so our SCCM server is up. So let me log into our SCCM console. Fine, no worries. Let it appear. Meanwhile, what we'll do, we will finish one slide. Okay, it has appeared. Fine. So you can see my it is showing connecting to site database and code is SP1. So here you can see it is showing the code site code SP1. This is our server name and this primary site name. This is our primary site name. This is our site code and this is our FQDN name of our SCCM server. Right, so it is my site code is SP1. Right, so we'll come back to the slide. So boundary groups provide access to the following types of services. So it provides access to distribution points. It provides configuration manager client installation. It provides access to software update points through which you will push your software updates or you can deploy OS also. You can it provides state migration points if you want to do any migration activity, user profile migration. So that is done with state migration point, preferred management points, and peer downloads. So peer downloads is possible with branch cache. Right, then talking about Active Directory forest discovery method, so it automatically defines the sites and subnets in a forest as configuration manager boundary. So Active Directory forest discovery will discover your sites and subnets in the AD forest. Only the top level of the configuration manager hierarchy is configured. So either your primary site or if you have central administrative site, on that it will be configured to discover AD forest. So automatically add site server forest to the list of available forest. So site server is a machine installed with SCCM services. This question was also there yesterday. Right, so automatically add site server forest to the site to the list of available forest, and you can even manually add additional forest. You can choose to automatically create boundaries for sites and subnets or both. So when we were doing yesterday site discovery or yesterday, so we when we enabled Active Directory forest discovery, there were two options, right? So you need to you if you want to add the IP subnet to your SCCM servers from Active Directory, and if you want to add Active Directory sites from to your SCCM site from your Active Directory sites and services. So we didn't check these two options. So these you can check, so it will automatically add your subnets and sites from your Active Directory to your SCCM site. Configure the frequency at which the discovery runs. So we configured the Active Directory forest discovery to run every 1 week. I hope everyone remembers what we did practically yesterday. Right, so we can enable the Active Directory forest discovery. We configured boundary, we configured boundary group, we configured boundary group relationship. So the relationship is, we added boundary to boundary group, and we verify Active Directory forest discovery. How we verified that our users and devices were able to discover in our SCCM site. Now configuring resource discovery. So resource discovery already we have configured. So resource discovery, so user is also a resource, device is also a resource. So overview of discovery methods. Here we'll see that Active Directory discovery methods will, we have already configured Active Directory discovery methods. Then what is network discovery, what is heartbeat discovery, monitoring discovery by using the component status and log files, and configuration manager commandlets for managing the discovery. So everywhere PowerShell will be there, so you need to keep yourself strong with the PowerShell. As I have conveyed, I'll be uploading PowerShell video. I am working on it, so I'll be uploading PowerShell video with beginner level, right? So you can go through that on YouTube channel. But first, your primary skill set, Windows and SCCM, is important. Right, so resource discovery detects and acquires information about your network resources. So what is it on your network? So if any printers are there, right, if any routers are there, switches are there, computers, devices, etc., whatever is there on your network. So we didn't sorry, yeah, so network resources. So discovery gathers information about network resources such as computers, users, security groups, and network infrastructure. Discovery generates a DDR file. Discovery data manager. So this discovery data resources, discovery data manager loads the information from the DDR file into the database of your SCCM server, which is on SQL. Now apart from that, we have total these 6 methods of discovery. So we have already seen forest discovery, group discovery, system discovery, and user discovery. Heartbeat discovery is by default enabled. We didn't enabled network discovery. So talking about each in a bit of detail. So Active Directory, for all Active Directory discovery methods except Active Directory forest discovery, specify at least one AD container. So that is your OU, or it can be a container also. Any additional search options? The polling schedule is from at what time your information from the OU or container will be pulled back again, or when the cycle will run again. So in demonstration we have already seen how to run system and user discovery, and we have also examined the discovered systems and user resources on our SCCM server. Network discovery searches the network for resources that meet specific criteria. So there are 3 types of network discovery, right? So this is our site server, and we have discovery agent. So that discovery agent runs a specific criteria to discover your resources on your network. So now what are these 3 types of network discovery? So first is topology. What topology you have in your environment? Then topology and client, and third topology, client, and client operating system. So 3 things it will run. So what is the topology and what devices in that topology? Then topology and client information, and third is topology, client, and client OS information. So these 3 types of resource network discovery options you can run. So generally either you can run this or even this also. If you are running this is the best option, so you'll get much more information of your client machines on the network. Then heartbeat discovery. So heartbeat discovery refreshes the configuration manager client computer discovery data in the site database. So for example, if we have installed a agent SCCM agent, right? Configuration manager agent or configuration manager client on one of our client machines. So it will keep a heartbeat with your site server, with your SCCM server, that whatever agent is here, it is keeping a contact with your SCCM server. So that is the work of the heartbeat. So by default, heartbeat discovery runs every 7 days. It runs every 7 days. So it will keep on uh, rerunning every 7 days with your SCCM server. So the DDR file will be generated and pass on to the site server. You can manually also trigger the same as and when required, but by default it will rerun every 7 days automatically, or whatever schedule you have defined. So you can configure the schedule, but you should understand the effects of reducing the heartbeat discovery interval, right? So if you reduce the heartbeat discovery interval, so by default it is 7 days. If you reduce the schedule, so what will happen, it will consume, if you have more number of devices, it will consume your network bandwidth, and which can lead your bandwidth congestion also. So you should plan properly before configuring the things. Then we have monitoring discovery by using the component status and log files. So now we have component names and we have log files. So we have SMS AD Forest Discovery Manager. We have SMS AD Security Group Discovery Manager. So these are the log files: AD Forest Disk dot log, AD SG. So SG stands for Security Group. DIS. So DI stands for discovery. Then we have AD System Discovery. So AD System Discovery. Then we have SMS AD User Discovery Agent, AD User Discovery Agent, Discovery Data Manager DDM.log, Network Discovery, then NetDisk.log, WinNT Server Discovery Agent, NTSV, right? VR, NTSVR disk.log. Sorry, NT SVR. SVR is server, NT stands for new technology over Windows NT. So NT SVR discovery.log. So these are log files. How you can preview log files and how you can see the component status. So component status screen we have already seen yesterday. So still now we'll go again back to component status screen and we'll refer it, and we'll see how to find the logs also, where the logs are located. So I'll go to my SCCM server. So it is open already here. So first I'll drag here this. So if required, we can browse it. Sorry. So I'll go to administration. Under administration, we have site configuration. Sorry. We under monitoring, we have system status, and we have component status. So you can see now here you can search for specific things. Here we have AD user discovery, system discovery, security group discovery, forest discovery, etc. So if I type SMS underscore AD and I access search, so you can see it is showing me all the four things. So I can clear the search, and if I want to see the logs, so for previewing the logs, so let's say I want to go to the directory of my log. So I'll go to File Explorer, this PC, C drive, Windows, and in Windows we have, hold on, yeah. So it will be here only probably. Sorry, here it will be under program files probably. I also forgot the path. Just a moment. Okay, system 32. Windows sys 32, system 32, and here we have CCM folder. CCM folder. Okay, for 64-bit it will be in syswo 64. It will be under syswo 64, and here we have CCM. My com is the CCM is not there. It should allow me access. Fine, let me go to domain controller and check.
My phone is searching like asterisk dot long.
No, actually, see, I don't know about Azure. Let me check on my virtual machine first. The path is under Windows System 32. On client machine, it is under Windows only. So see, this happens when you don't focus on the topic for 6 8 months. I'm handling a season batch after 6 8 months. So let this appear. Meanwhile, we log in here also. Okay, let me check this. It will. Yeah, so it is under SCCM underscore site code. Let me just find this folder on SCCM server. It is.
Sir,
Yes, Abhijit.
uh, SL team is calling me, sir. I will, meanwhile, I will leave the meeting, sir.
Okay,
I will
okay.
join 5 minutes, sir.
ठीक है. Good morning. Let's wait. I also forgot. It should be in C drive only because in previous versions before 20, the 2004 came, it used to be there only. Okay, the location has changed. C program files, Microsoft Configuration Manager. Okay. Right, so you can see these are our log files. Yes, please be attentive. I'll close this. Not required now. So log file path is under our C program files, Microsoft Configuration Manager and logs. Right. So here you can see we have AD forest discovery. It is showing text document. Right. So I'll come to that how you can open it. So we have AD service, AD user discovery, system discovery, security group discovery, etc. All these logs are important. So you can see there are more logs. Just we need to scroll down, right? So we'll scroll down and we'll see how many logs we have. 109 items are there. All these are log files. Now if I open, let's say, AD forest discovery log, right? If I open this log, right? So would you able to read this log? It is easy to read, na?
No, sir.
Right, so for that we have a tool. We have a tool called CCM trace. We have a tool called CCM trace. So where to find that tool? So in order to find that tool, so we'll go to C drive, program files, configuration manager, and here we have tools folder. We have tools folder. I'll click continue, and here we have CM trace. So what I'll do, I'll close this log first, this log also, right? So I'll open the log. I'll copy this tool here. So sorry, it got moved. I can copy and paste it here. I'll open this CM trace. So you can see, do you want to make this program the default viewer for log files? I'll click yes. Now I'll close this tool. Now this tool has no work. So yeah, so I'll come to the log files again. Now I'll open AD forest discovery log. I'll double click it. So you can see it is asking configuration manager trails tools, always open, use this app to open .log files. So you can see now we are able to view this logs, right? So entering function CA active directory forest discovery. So you can see here, these are all logs, what it did with component name, date and time, and thread, right? So you can, now it is possible for us to read it properly, right? So you can see finishing AD forest discovery thread, right? Server SCCM SRV belongs to forestsp.com, and here if we see, it will show it successfully completed active directory discovery, right? So current time is Wednesday, July 7, last run time is Tuesday, July 6, and next run time is Sunday, July 11, local time of the server, whatever time is on the server. So through this you can read the logs for whatever things you require. So log reading is important in your SCCM server. So if I go to another log, so you can see now icons have been changed. Now here it is log files. So if I, let's say, go to system discovery, right? So processing search path. So this is the search path. So you can see it is an LDAP query, and this is the distinguished name of our OU. So we had selected this OU for discovering our systems, right? So then it started, right? So it is searching with the username SCCMA. Previous domain DNS name is londondc.sp.com, and succeeded to cache binding for London DC, and finally it finished recursive processing into group objects, successfully completed directory search, and finally it discovered, so found 0 objects. Sorry, it reran, so that's why it's found 0 objects, right? So if I go the first discovery, probably it might have found 1 objects. So you can see DDR was written for systems SCCM SR1 to so and so file, right? So we saw already DDR. So whatever you want to see here, if I am not able to find anything, I want to search for a specific keyword. If I go to the find button, let's say I'll type SCCM SRV01, or let's say I'll type SCCM SRV01.sp.com, and I'll find. So you can see it is finding also, right? So you can find the things also, you can search the things, you can highlight the things. Let's say if I want to highlight SCCM SRV01.sp.com, where it is, I can check with case sensitive. So if this string is not matching it, if any word related to this is in small case also, it will search. I'll go with this. So you can see now it is highlighted. So wherever this server name is, I'll be able to see in highlighted color. And if there is a red color, that will be a default color. It is an error or related to something. So you can see that is highlighted. So everywhere whatever keyword I gave, that will be highlighted. So in this manner you can read the logs. So the location is program files, configuration manager, and logs. Clear till now? Any doubts?
So what is the path for CM tool?
So hold on. Just a moment. CM tools, na? So it is under configuration manager. So if I go to my SCCM server, so under configuration manager only, so see program files, configuration manager, as you have logs folder, in the same way you have tools folder. You have tools folder. So I'll give you 5 minutes. Go through the logs, open the CM trace tool, and make it default log viewer, because we'll be viewing logs, and view one or two logs related to your ED systems discovery or user discovery. I'll give you 5 minutes to all of you. Right. So moving next with slide. So use the following configuration manager commandlets in scripts to automate discovery. So it is saying in scripts, right? So you can use set cmd discovery method, which modifies the configuration settings of a specific discovery method, or get cmd discovery method provides information about specific discovery method. So you need to specify a discovery. So we'll try to run this command. Just a second, I'll plug charger. So we'll go to our SCCM server. So let me go to our SCCM server. We'll open PowerShell. Right, so what is the command? Get cmd. So sorry, not cmd, it is get cm discovery method. Right, so if I just type get cm discovery method, first I'll make the font size bigger. So get cm discovery method. So it should give me an error. Right, so that is not recognized as the name of the commandlet, function, script file, or operable program. So what I'll do, I'll say help get cm discovery method. So it didn't give me help also, so no need to worry. So what I'll do, I'm having search option, Chrome. So I'll type here get CM discovery. So I'll get information on this command. What parameters we can use with this command. So you can see. So I need to type name and discovery type, or I can type site code, disable wildcard handling, force wildcard handling, and common parameters. So if we go to an example, so let's say this is an example. So get CM discovery method name active directory user discovery. Maybe we'll be having some another examples also. No, we have only one example, right? So if I go to set CM discovery, so you can see set CM discovery. So active directory forest discovery, active directory site boundary creation, right? Enable subnet boundary creation, etc., etc. So you can modify the settings whatever you want to. So here also some examples will be given. So let me come to the example. Yeah, right. So set hyphen CM discovery method. So network discovery and the site code enable is equal to true, and network discovery type topology and client slow network speed is equal to true, right? So we have another schedule, right? So we are defining a variable, right? So in that variable we are declaring a value new CM schedule recur interval, so recurring interval in minutes, so start time at so and so and end time at so and so. And then we are defining set hyphen CM discovery method, where we are defining system discovery site code add additional attributes. So we are adding additional attributes delta discovery interval. So what is delta discovery? Yes, who will define delta discovery? Surbi is intelligent, we'll go with Surbi. Yes, Surbi.
Don't know, sir.
Okay, we'll give chance to Neha. Neha has taken a good rest, na? So she is more energetic compared to others. Yes, Neha, what is delta discovery?
Don't know, sir.
Yes, Abhijit.
Yes, yes, sir.
Delta discovery.
Not idea, sir.
Okay, so yes, Ratan, any idea what is delta discovery?
Sir, sir, you have already asked me, sir.
I have already asked you means.
Sir, sir, I have already taken bullet, sir. Why you are always firing on me?
See, interaction is part of the session. Na?
Yes.
So
Yes.
first I gave chance to people who are coping up, trying to cope up with the session, and I am now giving chance to who have already cope upped with the session. Let's say Abhijit, Abhishek, Ratan, etc.
Sir, I think it is the somewhere synchronization of attributes and objects.
Okay. Yes, Madhvi.
I don't know, sir.
Swati. Yes. What is delta discovery, Swati? Yes, Raju.
Sir, I think it support synchronization of user attributes, sir.
Supports. Okay. Yes, Shiva.
I don't have any idea about this, sir.
Okay, so let me explain. So, for example, here I am in my Active Directory. So, this is my domain controller and this is my SCCM server. Right, so this is system discovery. We are talking about system discovery, right? So, let's say here now I am having system 1, system 2, system 3, and I ran Active Directory system discovery on my SCCM server. So it went to AD, it fetched the system information, system 1, system 2, and system 3. Once this discovery was finished, so then two new systems were added, system 4 and system 5. Then I ran discovery again, so it will at that time fetch this information. So this is known as delta discovery, means whatever information is having, apart from that what is add on, so that information should be get updated here. That is known as delta discovery. So it is going and fetching the systems or the users, whatever discovery you are running related to either users. So here we are talking about delta. So delta means the difference. What is the difference of the whole? So here if I want whole systems, all the systems in system discovery. So the difference, whatever here is there and whatever is not there. So the whatever is not there, that is known as delta. So if I go to Google Uncle, so delta meaning. It's hold on, delta. Yeah, a finite increment, right? So it is a finite increment in mathematics. So whatever increment is there from this, so the difference, it is known as delta. So whatever increment data we want to bring here, so that is known as delta. Right, so we'll try one example. So let's say I'll take same this example only, which is given here. Right, so get CM discovery name. Right, so will get information of this discovery. So I'll come to my PowerShell and I'll paste it and enter. uh, Maybe it will run in a script file only, or so I'm navigating my path to this location. Alright, it's not. Cannot find the path. Yeah. Okay. Fine. So we'll go to program files. And we will go to what is our path? Configuration manager, endpoint manager. Then our path is admin console and build. Admin console. Okay. Right now we will import module configuration manager. Okay, let me try on ISC. So we'll open a module. Okay, so it is imported. So we'll try the same thing here. Yes, Bhargav, what was our old command? What we want to run?
Sorry, am I audible?
Yeah. Hmm? Yes, Surbi, what command we wanted to run for SCCM?
Get CM discovery method.
Yeah, get CM discovery method and name. So Active Directory. Yes, user discovery, system discovery. Surbi? That Surbi is not answering.
System discovery, sir.
System discovery, sure. Okay,
Yes.
first we'll run system discovery. किस command का आ गया? from the current drive. To run this command, we must first connect to configuration manager drive. Okay. Okay, I need to connect to virtual drive of configuration manager. Okay, fine. Here I'll maybe. Okay, let's try this. Okay, let me try this command again. So I need to create a new drive because my drive is not created for PowerShell. So what I'll do, I'll copy this and I'll paste it, but I'll do some modifications. So what modifications I need to do? I need to change my server name. So what is my server name, Swati? Fast, fast, come on. What is my server name? SCCM server name? SCCM? Mm. Okay, I need to provide my CM site. So CM site is my.
Sir, we have to go to root directory, right?
Which root directory?
Like C colon slash. Should we perform in this path only? Like
Yeah, so
you are in the bin directory right now.
we need to see, we need to set the admin UI path SMS. So SMS, when we run this, so it will directly go to this path only, bin directory, where the PowerShell module is.
Okay.
Then we need to create the PSC, for example, description primary. So description is secondary. PS1. My site code is PS01, right? Let's check. No, it is SP. Oh, it is SP. It is SP. Yes. See, I am doing mistakes. No one is saying anything to me.
Sir, I think SP1, sir.
So I have given SP1. Na? See?
Yes, it is
SP1 only. That is SP1 only. Then why it is not taking? Name is also correct. Okay, let's go to CD. Windows. Okay, let me check this now. Shit. Fine, no worries. We'll skip this step. I need to troubleshoot. I need to spend time on it. So if I'll get time, I'll work on it. Right. Meanwhile, we'll come back to our PPT. Where is our PPT? It is on my host machine here. Right. So these are the commandlets which you can use with your PowerShell for scripting purpose. So I'm not sure that it will work only for scripting or it should work independently as the example is shown by the Microsoft. But yes, we'll exclude the we'll just move ahead. So we have already created boundaries and we have created boundary groups and fallback relations, and we have done Active Directory discovery methods also. So we'll move next. Now we'll start user organizing resources using device and user collection. So we'll come to this section after a small tea break. So who doesn't require tea break? So if any one person says don't require, so we'll move ahead.
Required, sir.
So see, no one is saying required.
No, sir.
Resume the recording. So what we did, we navigated to our CD and our site code. So this is my site code. So now this my site code is my PowerShell drive also. So So I navigated here, then I executed the command. So it went through. Now it is showing me the information of my SCCM, right? So SCCM provider object path. So this is my object path, right? Site code is SP1, user agent, file type 2, flag 6, right? Item type component, right? So it is showing me information related to my user discovery. So I have asked get CM discovery method, right? So I can ask anything else also. Let's say we'll ask get CM discovery method, name active directory forest discovery. Right, so this is how you can navigate. So I'll give 5 minutes to all to go through this step. Right, so it's talking about organizing resources using device and user collection. So we'll see what are user collections and device collections. We have already seen that types of rules used for collections, creating collections, applying maintenance windows to collections, configuring power management to collections. So first demonstration is create collections. Second is create and apply maintenance windows and power management plans. Then monitoring the collections. So demonstration I'll be covering tomorrow, but we'll study the theory now. So collection. So what is the collection? So collection is nothing but a group of resources that consist of computers, users, or security groups. So you can have a collection of users, you can have collection of groups, you can have collection of groups and users, and you can have collection of computers also. But you can't have users and computers together. You can't have users. So groups are part of users only because groups consist nothing but users, right? So you can't have computers and users together. You can have users separately, computers separately, you can have groups separately, and you can have users and groups also combined. Now types of rules used for collection. So what kind of rules you can use? So collection rule types, we can have direct rule, query rule, device category rule, include collections, exclude collections. Means what? You can query directly. If you want to create some collection, you can have a query rule. So defining a query, you can have a device category, include collection. So if you are creating any collection, so and if you want to, so this is collection 1, this is my collection 2. If you want to include collection 1 and collection 2, so that is an include rule collection. So let's say if you have collection 2 and collection 2 has systems of collection 1, so if you want to exclude, so you can club here and define an exclude. So machines of collection 1 or users of collection will be excluded from collection 2. Then we have evaluation of rules. We have incremental collection member evaluation every 5 minutes. So every 5 minutes it will be added. So you can see use incremental updates for this collection. Then full collection member evaluation every 7 days. So every 7 days it will be added, updated. So incremented delta will be added. Limiting collection is used as a basis for resource. So limiting collection means it will be limited to that specific thing only. So we'll be seeing everything practically, so don't need to worry. But yes, theory is important. So then demonstration. So creating direct rule, query based collection rule, and creating a collection by using Windows PowerShell. So if we have time, we'll cover this, or else we'll definitely see these two options. Then applying maintenance windows to collection. So maintenance windows are what? So as I had already conveyed before also, so every week you have a specific hour where your system will be in maintenance. So at that time you don't need to wait for the users. That will be a maintenance window. On that you can update the machine. So at that time a machine can reboot or whatever it can happen. So our used to schedule maintenance windows are scheduled for required deployments, software update distributions, and task sequences. So if you are generating a task, if you have created any task, and if you want to execute that task, at that time it should be deployed under maintenance window. If you want to deploy something, if you want to update any software, right, after effect required. So what effect is required? So if you did this, then maybe you have a restart requirement. So do not prevent certain configuration management processes. So in maintenance windows, you can update the machines, you can reboot the machines. It will not hamper your productivity because maintenance window is defined in non-production hours, especially on weekends, and users know that there will be a maintenance window at that time. Client computers that belong to two or more collections with active maintenance window, other to all defined maintenance window. So for example, there is a client machine and you have defined maintenance window 1 and maintenance window 2. Now this maintenance window 1 has a time of Saturday, every week Saturday, 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. and maintenance window you have defined 2 on Sunday, or let's say on Saturday only, 4 a.m. to 7 a.m. So if now this machine is part of both the collections, so what will happen? So this machine will be under maintenance from 2 a.m. to 7 a.m. This can be on Sunday also, but I am just taking an example to show if it is on same day, so what will happen. So it will be from maintenance 2 to 4 also, and from 4 to 7 also. So it will other to all defined maintenance windows. So a maintenance window does not prevent the following task. It will not prevent following tasks. So what it will not prevent? So it will allow to download the policies. It will allow for inventory and software metering, data collection and reporting. It will allow wake on LAN transmission. It will allow deployments, software updates, task sequences specifically configured to ignore maintenance windows or user initiated deployments. So this will be allowed. It does not prevent. It is saying does not prevent. That means it will allow. So deployed software will not run if maximum runtime extends past the end of the maintenance window. Means what? So let me first take, yeah. So deployed software. Just a moment. Yeah, so deployed software will not run if maximum runtime extends past past the end of the maintenance window. For example, if you have defined maintenance window from 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. So how many hours it is, Neha? 3 hours, na?
No, sir, 2 hours.
2 hours, okay. So let's say we have defined 2 hours. Now let's say we want to deploy one software which is known as, for example, Adobe Photoshop. So now, as per our assumption, Adobe Photoshop should take 2 hours, right? So it should do. But let's say Adobe Photoshop is requiring 2 hours and 20 minutes to complete the deployment. 2 hours 20 minutes. So deployed software will not run if maximum runtime extend the past. So if you are this deployment, if you are deploying the software during maintenance hours and your maintenance window is only of 2 hours, so this software execution will not run because the window for installation or the runtime of the installation is 2 hours 20 minutes, which is exceeding the maintenance window time hour. If the maximum runtime is set to unknown, deployed software might run past the end of the maintenance window. So means what? Set to unknown. So here deployed software might run. So might is a question mark. It is suppose, right? So 50-50% chances. So now where you will set this window, runtime window, right? Runtime. Here it is unknown, and here 2 hours 20 minutes. So when you create a task for deploying so you create a task sequence for deploying that software. So during the task sequence, you need to define the runtime, approx what time it will take. So depending upon your runtime, you should know how much it should take, and you should define that runtime. And if you have defined the runtime which is exceeding the maintenance window, this will precisely not run. But if you have defined unknown, if you have not defined 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes, 120 minutes, 3000 minutes, etc. So if you have defined unknown, so might it shall run after the maintenance window also. So that is a convey in the message. Now talking about maintenance window to collections. So we have a collection A, collection B, collection C. Now this PC is part of all the three collections. So maintenance window collection A is 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Maintenance window is for collection B is 4 a.m. to 7 a.m. and for collection is 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. So maintenance window for this will be 5 to 11. So this is 5 to 11 p.m. right? So 5 to 11 as well as 4 a.m. to 7 a.m. So the user can work only from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. maximum. Clear with what is maintenance window? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right, so assign maintenance window only to collections specifically created for that purpose. So when you create a collection, you should know or you what maintenance window you are assigning. So a single or multiple machine should not get multiple maintenance windows, which is not good, because user will not be able to work. Whether your machine is in the network or not, your agent will define that it is a maintenance window, because agent will be having the policies, your SCCM agent, which is installed on your client machine. Right, we will see today how to install this agent. So include a description of the maintenance window in the name of the collection. You can define a description of the maintenance window in the name of the collection also. Power management, very important, right? So follow a good power management workflow. So what is the use of power management? So with power management, you can define which machine should not be on after so and so time. So let's say in your organization you have 10,000 computers, and users don't shut down the computer. So user leave by 6 and users don't shut down the computers. So you can define a power management policy that when users leave at 6 p.m., so machine should automatically get turned off at 7 p.m. or 8 p.m., etc. And users come in morning 9 a.m. So you can define that when before user comes, the machine should automatically start at 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. morning before the user arrives. So that you can define in the power management for collections. So monitoring and planning phase. So we need to monitor and plan. So first you need to monitor what is the flow of on the floor of the users, collect data about computer usage and power settings, generate reports to analyze data and determine optimal settings. Enforcement phase, where you will force to follow the power management rules. So create and apply power plans to collection of computers. Further evaluate power savings after you apply a power plan. So let's say if 10,000 computers were there before applying this, creating and applying this policy, every month you were receiving 6,000 electricity bill extra, and after you applied this, you decreased your electricity bill by 6,000 rupees, because that 10,000 machines were powered on, though they were not in use, right? So you can reduce or emphasize your organization's beneficial also. So further evaluate power setting savings after you apply a power plan. Compliance phase, run reports to evaluate power usage and power cost savings. Troubleshoot problems with the power management feature. So we have three phases: monitoring and planning, enforcement, and compliance. So power management reports. So you can view and analyze reports about power consumption, environmental impact, and power management settings. So these will be seen in reporting section. So we want to see reporting section, but before reporting section, we'll go to we'll go and see how to create user and device collection and how to do client installation. Then we'll come to reporting. Right. So in this demonstration, you will see how to configure maintenance windows and power plants. So we'll see that. So monitoring collections. So we have component status where our example is SMS collection evaluator. Status information related to collections. You will get the status information related to collection. Then we have log files, collection evaluation.log. So detailed status information related to collection. Status message queries, all status messages for a specific collection at a specific site. So collection member resources manually deleted or collections created, modified and deleted. You will get status messages related to everything, right? Specific status information based on a query. So if you want a specific status information, you can run a query and you will get that status message. Reports. So you can have reports related to all connections, all resources in a specific collection, all package and program deployments to a specified collection. So information related to collection based tasks. So you can run report and this format, and the description is you will get information related to a specific task. And finally, we will be seeing create a device collection, user collection, and configuring a maintenance window. We'll be seeing this. So now I'll give you 15 minutes to go with day 4 3 slides. Just a moment, let it open. So day 3, we have already gone through day 3. Right, preparing configuration manager infrastructure, we just completed the slide. And day 4, right, so we just completed the slide, day 3. Right, so go through the slides of day 4, deploying and managing the configuration manager client. Then we'll see the installation of the client. That's so how much time you need to complete these slides?